Monzon is at 160 pounds, and Bennie Brisco is approximately at the same. This is round one. A cautious beginning. Brisco the aggressor, and two good left hooks by Monzon. Brisco needs a smaller ring, a flatter mat. He, of course, is being beaten to the left jab when they exchange them because Monzon has the longer reach by about 3 or 4 inches. 30 seconds gone in round one. Good combination by Monzon very quickly, and Brisco did not respond too well. Brisco likes to get in close and fight and flurry, to butt his head in like a charging bull, but he has been kept at arm's length by Monzon, who is boxing him here, and landed another good combination. Monzon landing the telling blows here in round one. And another good combination by Monzon. Brisco trying to get to the body, and Monzon is covered up well. Here is Monzon with the left jab we told you he rarely uses, and he is using it well here. He is keeping Brisco outside. Brisco tried to go to the head, and now a good left hook to the nose by Brisco. 1:15 seconds gone in round one. In case you just joined us, Monzon had the better for about 45 seconds, keeping Brisco off with a left jab and then landing 3 combinations at least. And Brisco evened things out at the minute mark with a good left hook to the nose. That's been his best blow. Brisco not throwing as much as he normally does. 1.5 minutes gone by in round one. A packed house in Luna Park Stadium. Monzon having no trouble landing combinations. And again, combination lands by Monzon. Monzon has affected most of his knockouts with his right hand. Virtually call him a right-handed hitter, and they call Brisco a one-armed hitter. With the left hand, he has done most of his damage. All of his knockouts have come with the left hand. Monzon doing a beautiful boxing job, sighting his targets and getting good combinations in. Brisco trying to land to the body, but on top of him immediately is the referee, and Nat Lube. There is the first example I have seen of the referee interfering or being omnipresent when he didn't have to be, because both men were separated, and Brisco was landing clean punches to the body. Monzon with a good peppering left hand to the face. Brisco is feeling it and trying to get an early knockdown or an early knockout. Brisco has said that he wants his man by the 7th round. It may be that's all he thinks he'll be strong at. 30 seconds left, less than that in round one. A left uppercut missed by Monzon. A combination goes in by Monzon effectively. And there's Brisco's left jab. And there's the bell ending round one. And Nat Lube of Ring Magazine, unless I'm mistaken, did that not look like an omnipresent referee in the corner when he had Monzon pressed against it and was getting his first good rally going? And I thought the referee was peering in and saying something to Brisco that made him back off, and I wonder why.
I don't think Monzon needs the referee. He's doing pretty well. Brisco is stalking him, obviously looking for that opening to get his left hook in there. So far, he hasn't had a chance to get it in.
All right, thank you, Nat. Carlos Monzon, 30 years old, 5'11 and a half. Began his career in 1963. Both fighters up for the beginning of round two, which should be coming on momentarily. Referee has signaled both sides to get ready for round two. Carlos Monzon is an excellent puncher. He can take his man out with one hand, with one punch, and so can Bennie Brisco. In fact, Bennie Brisco scored one knockout with exactly one punch thrown in the fight. Monzon using that left jab more than I've seen him use it previously. Brisco landing good shots to the body. And again, just as Brisco said, he said to me that he knew for sure that the referee would caution him at every point to keep his hands up. I think you clearly saw, as I did, that Brisco was nowhere near the belt line in those shots to the body. That's one of the problems. About 30 seconds, and again, the referee, Vignano, is cautioning Brisco. 45 seconds gone in round two. Brisco is going to find it difficult to fight his fight with this kind of situation. Brisco having all kinds of trouble getting his man set somewhere so that he can get up with him. He's best and most effective against people who are not cuties, and Monzon is boxing him much more this time than he did in their first fight, and much more than he boxed Bennie or any other fight I saw him in. Brisco carrying the fight to Monzon here in round 2, but Monzon doing most of the effective landing. Good right hand by Monzon that time. Monzon effective in punching downward. As a matter of fact, most of his training has been in that direction because he is such a tall middleweight. Brisco's still looking for something to slow his man down so he can go to work on him with power. About a minute left in round 2. Monzon seems to be loafing it just a little bit, but solid left hook to the face by Monzon. Monzon does not bob and weave. He just moves to the left when he has to get out of the way and moves backward. Brisco simply cannot get inside. Brisco does take punishment, but has not taken too much here, really. He's trying to save his punches. He may look awkward as he throws some of them that are far short of their mark, but once he lets them go, he wants to keep letting them go. It's more difficult and more straining to hold them back. Seconds only remaining in round 2. Monzon is landing and scoring points. Brisco cannot get close to him. The 4.5-inch reach is thwarting him. Brisco beginning to fade just a little bit, I think. And there's the end of round 2. Brisco looks an angry man here as he waits for round 3 to begin. In the corner with him is Quenzel McCall, the man to the left of your screen. I do not know the trainer who is standing on the outside, but he is from Philadelphia, and I believe, no, I'm afraid his name escapes me. Bennie Brisco, one of 14 children, who says that the reason his hair is cut very short, as you can well see, is that when you're one of 14 children, they can't waste too much money on haircuts. And when he used to go to the barbershop, Dad would say, take it all off. I don't know why referee Vendano came over there to talk to Brisco's corner. I have no idea whatsoever. I can't assume it was to tell him that he has taken a round from Bennie Brisco because of the alleged low blows. In 2 cases, this commentator has seen where the referee appeared to be omnipresent and exercising will, if not order, over Brisco that seemed to be uncalled for. The beginning of round 3. And here we go. Brisco on the left, Monzon on the right. This for the World Middleweight Championship. Brisco picking up the pace just a little bit. And people will be watching to see whether indeed he has suffered too much from the battle with hepatitis. Good solid left hook to the mouth by Brisco as the referee came in to separate them. Again, the uppercut missed by Monzon. He's having no luck with the left uppercut whatsoever against Bennie Brisco. Brisco on the right side of your screen and Monzon on the left. That's Monzon's corner. And Brisco is not doing too much now about trying to nail his man against the ropes. He's had no luck with the referee, even if he's had luck with Monzon. Unofficially, we gave the first round to Monzon. What did we do about the second round, Matt? The second round, too, according to our unofficial scoring here in the United States, has gone to Monzon. So Monzon would unofficially lead 2 rounds to none for Brisco. This is round 3. Nothing landed for Brisco that time. And again, referee Vendano is telling him, keep him up. Just as Brisco predicted. Minute and a half gone by in round 3. That's enough to discourage anybody, and especially in a world championship fight. Now Brisco glides to the right. He tried to nail Monzon against the ropes, and Monzon just played cutie with him and made him waste a little strength by missing some punches. Brisco apparently has decided to take a few blows to come in. But as he tries to come in, Monzon takes the step backward, and where the target was, it just isn't anymore. Watch that. Monzon stands still. He hits Brisco, then Brisco will come in, but Monzon takes the step backward, and Brisco just cannot get him at bay. 45 seconds left, round 3. Monzon unmarked, Brisco unmarked, neither one cut. Neither of them has a history of being cut. And again, Brisco at that point could not get a rally going. Monzon may be one of the strongest middleweights to fight in recent years, but nowhere the style of a Marcel Cerdan, or a Jake LaMotta, or an Emil Griffith. Seconds only remaining in round 3. And there it is, the bell ending round 3. Carlos Monzon against Bennie Brisco. Incidentally, if Brisco is cut, the fight won't be stopped as quickly as it might be stopped in the United States, because somehow in Argentina and in a few other Latin American countries, there is a little bit more accommodation and a little bit more calmness about bleeding. And so he would have to be bleeding pretty good, as they say, before the fight might be stopped on that account. But there are other raps against Argentina and against Carlos Monzon in particular, and one can recall his 5-round KO against Dennis Moyer. Nobody knows why that was stopped, and if everyone does know that rubbish was thrown into the ring, and that couldn't have helped Dennis Moyer's case one bit. And there have been other situations like this. Round 4 is coming up in this, the middleweight championship fight in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Monzon is a clean fighter. Nothing can be said about that. Brisco has landed really maybe 1, maybe 2 good punches. The first one came in round 1. An unexpected good left hook to the nose of Monzon, but he has been quiet relatively and has missed a lot of blows. Brisco can hope to stalk his man relentlessly, eventually get Monzon to be careless or to slow down. But Monzon looks very cool in there right now. Measuring his man, staying well out of reach. And using that left jab enormously. That uppercut landed. Solid left uppercut to the chin. One minute gone by. Round 3. Brisco's lethal hand is his left hand. He may have hurt Brisco with the right hand to the mouth in that combination about seconds ago. Monzon has effectively used his size, used his reach. And in one of the few times that I've seen Brisco fight, he cannot get onto his target. And now Brisco is departing from the battle to the body, which he likes, and is shooting for the head, which seems as futile a gesture as you can get when you're hitting a man that is so much taller and so much farther away because of that reach. Brisco has been forced to go for the head because of the fact that every time he tries a body attack, he's stopped by the referee. And Brisco now seems a little tired in there now in round 4. Monzon stood flat-footed and Brisco did not come at him. That may be an indication that he's tired. And Monzon is landing a good pattern of lefts and rights. Brisco a little shaky, I think. Only seconds remaining in round 4. Of course, Brisco can be cute too and make you think that he's wavering or weakening. But now he seems to be all right again. Monzon fighting one of the coolest fights I've seen him fight. And again note that Brisco's feigned body attack is just not happening, Nat Lube. What do you think of that?
Well, I think it's an amazing situation here. So far, you got Monzon going all the way, but he's not fighting the fight he usually fights. He's not an aggressive mauler fighter as we've seen him in all of his other fights. He's now fighting a counter-punching fight. That credit has to go to Brisco, who's forcing the fight from that end of it.
Okay, Nat Lube of Ring Magazine. This will be round 5 coming up. Carlos Monzon and Bennie Brisco of Philadelphia. Brisco has rarely gone the distance and won a fight. Only one time has he gone the distance with victory coming to him on points. In 3 or 4 other occasions where the fight has gone the distance, in the prescribed 10-round amounts, Brisco has been the loser. And as we told you, Carlos Monzon is on a winning streak of 72 fights. This is round 5. Brisco is forcing the fight, but not doing himself any good. He has only had about 2 or 3 damaging punches recorded against Monzon, and Monzon has been excellent with combinations. His left jab has kept Brisco at bay. He's had his right hand land and landed 1 or 2 good uppercuts, so everything in his arsenal has worked for him so far. And at one point, standing flat-footed, Brisco could do nothing against him. Brisco appeared at this point to be overmatched, and that right hand blow to the head was solid and shook him as you saw. But Brisco is a tremendous fighter when he is hurt. Minute gone by, round 5. Brisco has said he would finish Monzon in 7. Monzon said that he would finish Brisco in 6. Well, that's interesting. Brisco has turned out a different fighter completely in Monzon. A man who says he didn't watch Brisco films, I'd have to say maybe not. Because he seems to be fighting in a style in this fight prescribed perfectly for Brisco's style. This is round 5. About 1 minute, 10 seconds left in it. Uppercut missed by Monzon. Now Monzon is becoming a little bit careless with his own combinations. Apparently too much confidence has seeped in. He is missing. But no steam in the punches of Brisco do I see. Packed house at Luna Park Stadium, and a good left hand by Brisco, his 4th good blow of the fight, and that's been about it, although he has forced the fight. Brisco trying to get his timing back. As Monzon shoots combinations, they get him off timing, as combinations will. What's been notable, and we'll keep telling you about it, is the famed Brisco body attack is just not here. Brisco is headhunting against a much taller and stronger man. And he's taking punishment because of that. He's not buried down deep as he normally is. Apparently, Monzon keeps straightening him up with the uppercut whenever he gets down, or the threat of the uppercut. Seconds only left in round 5. And the bell ending round 5. Bennie Brisco was in the Olympic finals of 1960, but that was the year that Cassius Clay won his event in the finals, and so Brisco had to take second best notoriety at that point. Carlos Monzon, one of 14 children himself, very poor, raised upon the most meager diet that a person can have, let alone an athlete, in Argentina, came as a very young boy into the gymnasium of this man who's on the right side of your screen, called Amilcar Bruja. He took a personal liking for this young kid, and he remembered the words of Louis Firpo many years ago. The great ex-heavyweight said that someday a dark-skinned, black-haired kid would come out with blazing fists out of Argentina and remind everybody where Argentina was, as Louis Firpo himself has. And indeed, Monzon had. Monzon's right appears to be now the dangerous blow. that Brisco has to be considerate of. Although he's been peppered by the uppercut that has done damage in the last 2 rounds. Round 6. And it's amazing that they say that fighters don't change styles. How do you account for Monzon doing it right here and for a championship defense?
Well, he's not doing it. Brisco's forcing him to do it. Brisco's forcing the fight and forcing him to drop back. The only thing now is that you have to watch the right hand of Monzon, which is terrifically dangerous at this point in the fight.
Well, that's right. Every KO he's had virtually has come with the right hand. And you'll have to look for him setting up Brisco. Brisco is looking for that too. Monzon, of course, is the kind of puncher who can also wear you down and you might just fold and disappear. But he can put you away with one blow too. A minute gone in round 6. Solid combination by Monzon. And he's going back for more of Brisco. And again, we have to point out Brisco is not going for the body. He cannot get in there. And there is no way that he can elevate Monzon with blows that only half graze the head. That time he did get a solid left to the body. A minute and a half gone by. Round 6. Brisco's still coming, to his credit. A very game fighter, Bennie Brisco. Tough, very strong. No sign of the hepatitis bothering him here. Even if he went through 2 rounds with Monzon, it would be proof. One minute left in round 6. And that is Monzon with his best rally. Brisco will hardly ever counterpunch. He will hardly ever flurry with you. He waits to throw his own flurries. As a matter of fact, often that's the style of Monzon. But Monzon is delivering now about on an average of 7-1. 35 seconds left, round 6 for the middleweight championship of the world. Monzon with a beautiful combination. Brisco at the left, Monzon at the right. Monzon now is getting his licks and moving back and is virtually untouched, and a beautiful bombardment of the head by Monzon. His best rally of the fight so far. He wants his man. It is round 6. He may not have enough time in this round. Still respectful of Brisco as he continues to back off after he delivers his combinations. Seconds only left in round 6. And Brisco now taking tremendous punishment. There's the bell that ends round 6. Bennie Brisco, who has come thousands of miles from Philadelphia to challenge the man that he once fought a draw with, and so many say he once beat. But finding now a new confident, a new poised Carlos Monzon. Brisco's career goes back to 1962. Went on a winning streak of 15 fights before losing to Percy Manning, and that was no shame. Manning was an excellent fighter off the eastern seacoast. He has lost, let's see, only 2 fights in the last 18 that Brisco has had have gone the distance. But every fight that did go the distance, he has lost except one. He has had 8 one-round KOs. His average KO is about 1. In other words, his fights go about 4 rounds if you're averaging out his KOs. So we're well past that now. We're into the 7th round. Monzon taking command a little bit sooner here. Monzon called Emil Griffith the toughest fight he ever made. He beat him in 14, but he said Brisco was next. And again, that was a kidney punch, I imagine he's been warned against this time. 30 seconds gone in round 7. This for 15 rounds and the world title. And as it has gone so far, what's your unofficial scoring?
So far, Guy, I have it 5-1.
Which round went to Brisco?
He gave give the 5th round to Brisco because of his heavier punch. It's where he landed that 4th shot of the fight, the only good punch.
1 minute gone by in round 7. Monzon was breathing a little heavily when he unleashed that 4-punch combination. It is the first time I've seen him take a deep breath. So being forced backward, even if you're not being hit too much by a Bennie Brisco, is enough to take something out of you. This is an indoor fight at the Luna Park Stadium in Buenos Aires. A packed house. The first time it's been packed for a fight, I'm told. Brisco has landed some shots to the body that have counted. He's landed 4. I think that's the most he's landed in any round cleanly. And Monzon right back with a clubbing to the head. Now Brisco's trying to do something else. He's trying to knock down the left hand or the right hand of Monzon before he goes at him. First he flicks it away, and then he tries to get in. And now Monzon has speeded up his throwing. One minute left in round 7. And you saw, as I did, that Brisco held his punches back when he had Monzon on the ropes, either out of gas or worried about the referee or both. 45 seconds left, round 7. Brisco's prediction can't possibly come true in this round. I don't see how. With 30 seconds left and Monzon in no trouble and in command of the fight, things look pretty secure for the world's middleweight champion. Now the punches seem to be telling a bit more on Bennie. He's not throwing up at the head as much. It may be the arms are tired. That right looked tired that time. There's the end of round 7 and a chance for us to announce that this fight is coming throughout the United States in black and white, and that is because Argentina does not presently send in color, or does not have a color facility at this time, so you are receiving this picture in black and white from coast to coast. We're happy to note that such cities as San Jose, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles are receiving our pictures, and that this is being satellited from Argentina at this present time. Remember again, the rules say 3 knockdowns in any single round, the fight is over. It'll be scored round by round. A point was made to me a little while ago that after the battle between Monzon and Nino Benvenuti in Monte Carlo, which was the second fight between the two, this referee, Victor Vendino, who was actually the referee, was seen carrying Monzon's bag to the airport or to the station after the fight was over. I leave that without any comment. Round 8. And again, if you're reviewing, and we'll review for you, Brisco appeared to be tired a little bit more in round 7 by the solid head punching of Carlos Monzon. He had shots at the body, took advantage only in one brief spurt to throw forehands to the body, and then later on, when he had Monzon against the ropes, seemingly backed off or didn't have enough more gas to go at him. Now Brisco appears to be lively again. That's solid right hand to the body by Brisco. Of course, don't be misled. From time to time, Brisco will appear to be taking something along the ear, along the head, but he's slipping very well, as the great Jake LaMotta used to do. There again, Nat Lube, I can't help recounting that Brisco had his man leaning back against the ropes. Either he was worried about whether Monzon was trying to sucker him in, or he's just worried about losing the fight on disqualification. I cannot make out what it is, but the body is open and Brisco is not going there. Two minutes left, round 8. The middleweight championship of the world, right here from Argentina. Monzon took command for a couple of seconds at the beginning of the round, and now he's back to his cautious fight again, backing away, sticking the left jab out, sending him the straight right now and then. Just a little over a minute remaining in round 8. This round has slowed up a little bit. When Brisco punches to the body, he does not seem to have full steam now. I cannot explain it. Yet Brisco's eyes, as far as I can see through the screen, are clear. He seems to be all right and in control. He's taking solid punching by Monzon and standing flat-footed to take it, shaking it off, coming forward. But on the scorecard, it looks like a one-sided fight in behalf of Carlos Monzon. The left jab is keeping Brisco away, and then the head punching keeps him away. 30 seconds remaining, round 8. Beautifully picked off by Brisco. Fine boxing. And there's the bell that ends round 8. You get the feeling, because the fight has progressed this far, and unofficially we have scored it 7 rounds for Carlos Monzon to 1 for Brisco, Knapp and Irwin, that Brisco may have to do some more gambling as the fight progresses. He now has to come out of there via KO, or he'll never get out of Argentina with a fight. That's for sure.
I don't think there's much doubt about it, Guy. If he doesn't gamble, he can't possibly win this fight. He's got to throw some frantic lefts, and without it, he just can't make it.
Carlos Monzon, an acid-cool, tough kid, reflecting the neighborhood that he grew up in, Buenos Aires, doesn't talk very much, very proud and happy with his family. Once had his 3-year-old son in his arms as he was being introduced in a fight against Emil Griffith and KO'd Emil in 14. This is the beginning of round 9. And it begins as usual with Monzon with a short combination to the head. Some of it gets in, some of it does not. Brisco dancing up and down a little bit more now. And after taking solid thrashing to the head, he still seems to have plenty of spunk. He picked those off beautifully, did Mr. Brisco. He needs one punch to slow Carlos Monzon down and give him a target. He needs one shot, and he can't get it. And that was a solid right to the chin by Monzon, and blocked nicely the punches of Brisco. Monzon keeping his man off balance now. And when Brisco gets in the hip, the punches have no steam. There it is again. 1 minute gone in round 9. You will note that Brisco is a pretty good defensive fighter. He takes a lot, but has to get rid of a lot by blocking, and does. Slips a great deal, too. And that may be one of the reasons you can't see the suppleness of his defense, that he's still going at pretty good steam here in round 9. He is still forcing the fight. Monzon's caution can be only reasoned by terms of his last fight against Brisco, which he remembers ended in a draw. And some say Brisco won. And a solid right hand by Brisco. Brisco is a good finisher. Does time remain? And he is looking up at the clock as Carlos Monzon. 1 minute remains in round 9. A solid right by Brisco. Right, Monzon. Brisco can't get to him. Monzon backing off. He is still hurt. If Brisco could get to him, this would be the chance of putting him away. He hurt him with a solid, unexpected, sneaky right. 45 seconds remaining in round 9. Brisco suddenly came out of nowhere, looking for that one shot we told you about. Carlos Monzon definitely resting on him. Brisco is a better finisher than Carlos Monzon. That's known on the record, but Monzon is being allowed to come back. Helped a little bit by the referee, I think. 20 seconds remaining in this, the 9th round. Brisco certainly will win this round, but he could have won the fight with more of a rally right after shaking Monzon up in his own corner. Some 10 seconds remain in this round 9 of the middleweight crown, and there is the bell, and Brisco nearly had the world championship right there. What did you think, Nat?
Well, the gamble, the big gamble, Joe, must paid off. He walked into his man. He threw that sneak right, which is usually dangerous. As we all know, you don't throw a right lead, but he did. He got away with it. He nailed his man. Had he been able to finish him, he would have had the championship of the world.
He'll never come any closer to it unless he knocks Monzon out than that. And I think as Brisco walks to his corner and is being consoled by Quinzel McCall, the man on the left side of your screen who's wiping him off now with a towel, who is just as paternal as a father is, who's just as consoling as a very close or the closest of relatives can be. I know them both well, and I know their relationship. I know he's telling him, you'll get another chance at him, Brisco, just stay at him. And again, look for that opening with the right. Of course, you probably had seen, we may have mentioned, that Monzon, the round before this, had become a little bit careless in the way he was picking at Brisco with his left hand. His hands were down a little bit, and Brisco suddenly emerged with a solid right to the head, which could have evened up this fight very quickly and put Brisco into the championship. We are now in round 10. Brisco looking for another opening. The right hand did the damage, and Brisco is known as a left-handed hitter. So everything different has happened in this fight so far. And never again will anybody be able to say, Bennie Brisco, what is your best punch? Monzon fighting cautiously now, backing away 2 steps at a time, a little farther away now than he did before, and now he ties his man up when he's on the ropes. He doesn't just coolly and casually try to spin him around, but he's holding on to arms when he comes off the ropes against Brisco, and he was shaken. And his punches are not carrying steam, and they're short of the target too. So it's hard to say just how much was taken out of Monzon with that solid right by Bennie Brisco. Brisco looks fresh, and incidentally, he does not sit down between rounds. Another thing that I believe Jake LaMotta used to do on occasion. 1 minute gone by, and this is the 10th round. Monzon coming back to a little bit more speed, but he still does not look right to me. Brisco again tried that right hand, and Monzon veered back from it nicely. Carlos Monzon on the right, Bennie Brisco on the left. Brisco nearly had him. A minute left in round 10. And now historians will remember the right hand that Brisco nailed Monzon with. And from here on, until Monzon retires, they'll say he's vulnerable to the right hand. And they'll miss the fact that it was a sneaky right hand that even Brisco must be surprised about. 30 seconds left in round 10. And Monzon has weathered the storm. He looks a bit stronger now, but not much. Brisco is frustrated, kept at bay. 15 seconds remaining in round 10. He hurt Monzon that time with a left hand to the head. Brisco looks fresher as they're ending round 10. A turn of events. And now Monzon is picking up strength again, and those punches hurt Brisco. Seconds only remaining in round 10. As you can see on your screen to the left. 9 seconds remaining. Brisco has carried the fight to Monzon, but has not been able to get a sitting target. Still, Monzon doesn't look as strong as he was in previous rounds before that shot to the head. They think Brisco's in trouble. It doesn't look like it from here as the 10th round ends. And that spray of water in Monzon's face that you just saw by Amilcar Brujar, I think may reflect that he feels that Monzon is just a little bit out of gas. It's a funny thing, Nat Lube and Erwin Rosie, but you have to remember that the middleweight class has been, perhaps, down through the years, with due respect to the heavyweight greats, the Joe Lewises and the Max Schmelings and the Jack Dempseys and the Muhammad Alis. It's been the most exciting and the most mystique class of all. What other classes had fighters like the Lamadas, the Serdans, the Zales, the Grazianos, and the greatest fighter pound for pound, Sugar Ray Robinson? This is Guy LeBeau. I am Mike Side in New York City, commenting on this fight being satellited black and white from Argentina and sent coast to coast. Alongside of me, longtime boxing expert Erwin Rosie and Nat Lube, crusading editor of Ring Magazine. This is round 11, and we'll have an unofficial decision by both of my gentlemen colleagues here at ringside a little later. Monzon measuring his man better now. Now he looks like the Monzon who had the first 6 rounds going away. There is pepper in the left hand, and he is moving good on his feet, too. He is not very fast. Emilio Brisco told me he wishes he was faster. Neither man is very fast, of course. 1 minute gone by in round 11. And again, Monzon will tie his man up prettily and swiftly when they're inside. The inside fighting did not develop as most fans and most experts expected it would. Brisco had no pattern, no plan, no way of getting inside to Monzon, and it would be the story of the fight for him. Now he's taking a solid pummeling at the head again, and he is driven off by the power of those punches. He has been hurt, I believe, and he is in his own corner back there by Monzon, who can't seem to get the next rally going either. And again, as we told you, both of these men fight in flurries which they themselves discipline. Monzon is not a good finisher. That is his history. A perfect combination landed by Monzon. He should have gone after his man with more, but he does not. 1 minute left in the 11th round. He had Brisco hurt and didn't get him. Nice blocking off the shoulder by Brisco. He still has plenty of cool, collected thinking. He is bleeding along the right side of his right eye. You can see it clearly. But again, as we told you, you're going to have to do a lot of heavy bleeding in Argentina to have a fight stopped because of that. About 35 seconds remain. And Monzon set him up for the right hand, and Brisco slipped it neatly. Monzon is also going for that right eye with his left hand, as you can see. About 45 seconds left in the 11th round. This has been Monzon's most terrific round insofar as damaging punches is concerned. He took the tar out of Brisco, and he has cut him, although Brisco notoriously does not cut. 35 seconds remaining in this, the 11th round. Brisco has not done too much during it. Brisco would like to go the distance. He would like to save something for a final round that could wind up in a KO. He can do it. He has the punching power, as you saw. 15 seconds remain in a round 11. And unless Brisco goes to the body, unless he can slow those upper lethal weapons down or make them tire as he did in a previous round when he nailed them with a right hand, it will be a hapless, helpless situation. There is the end of round 11. This is for the middleweight championship of the world, and quite possibly the winner of this match will be challenged by the winner of the Emil Griffith-Boutier match, which is coming off in France sometime later this month. Griffith is still ranked #1 in many areas around the world. Brisco is #3, sometimes 4, depending upon what institution you accorded the most value. Carlos Monzon, therefore, will be looking for his 7th consecutive or his 6th consecutive successful defense of the title right here. He has been a fighting champion. He won the crown from Nino Benvenuti in 1971, came back after fighting a non-title battle in between, gave Benvenuti virtually an instant return match, and fought that memorable 3-round fight, you remember, in which a towel was thrown in for Benvenuti and tossed out by Nino virtually simultaneously. This is round 12. Monzon way ahead on rounds and points. Now the crowd shouting for Monzon to get the KO. Monzon has a string of 9 knockouts going for him since he won the crown from Nino Benvenuti. Brisco has never been knocked out. He's been knocked down only 3 times in his long, brilliant career. In one fight, he was knocked down twice in the first round and came up and administered a knockout in round 2. Though even when you think you got Brisco, you've got trouble. A minute gone by, round 11. It's a funny thing that Monzon has not had as good a target for right hands against Brisco as he did against Nino Benvenuti. Now he has got good target for the right hands, just as I said it. Monzon has not been the raging bull of the Pampas in this fight. He's had trouble sometimes studying the Brisco style. Now he's picking his spots for combinations, and a combination will throw a man off all the time. Brisco cannot get his flurry started mainly because of the combinations. Sugar Ray Robinson has said time and time and time again, anytime you're puzzled by a man's style and you want him to drop his style or you want him to be unsuccessful in it, hit him with combinations. While he waits for that second blow, you can move away. And after a while, he'll get to expect the second, even if you don't throw it. And Monzon has rarely, this afternoon, thrown one punch that he hasn't thrown the next one right after it, and sometimes 3 and 4 in a row. A minute left in round 12. Brisco just slipped. Brisco still making Monzon miss a lot of punches. That was a good left hand on the mouth by Brisco. Still strong enough to drive Monzon off. The uppercut missed. And the left-hand, right-hand combination was short. So Brisco is making Monzon miss a great deal with 15 seconds left in round 12. That will give you a pretty studied idea of a lot of blows Monzon has missed that you thought landed. 5 seconds remaining, round 12. And in the last minute of round 12, Nat Lube, I thought a very good boxing lesson given to Monzon by Bennie Brisco.
Well, that may be true, but I have a great feeling, Guy, that this whole thing is going according to plan. It may not end up the way it had been planned, but Brisco has been fighting a clever fight. The idea of the fight being to keep the pressure on Monzon and look for that chance to put over the haymaker. So far, we almost saw it once in the 9th round. Will we have chance again? I don't know, but it's anyone's guess.
And we're talking about the fact that so many odd things have happened, and they're now administering to the cut on the right eye, the right side. I don't think it's a serious cut. It's in an area where it would not be serious. It would be more serious at the bridge of the nose or inside or directly in the middle of the eye. But Brisco has been known as a cat who just never cuts. He is a relentless phenomenon, this Bennie Brisco, really an octable fighter, if you will, but has not been able to throw the kind of punches in the manner of a Henry Armstrong, which would be more the Brisco style. It's been a good style in counter to it by Carlos Monzon. I take nothing away from that. Round 13. And again, you can see as you look at the face of Monzon, careful studying of his target. And from time to time, Monzon does not concentrate, and it looks like he can barely lift his left or right hand. Either he's saving himself, or perhaps he does suffer little spurts when he's just out of carburation. If Brisco could time those, he'd have something. Brisco is still warding off plenty of leather. Now trying to jump at him and drive him with that left hand as a Jake LaMotta would whenever he was the shorter opponent, which was most of the time. Brisco still blocking most of the leather thrown at him. That right hand to the mouth got in by Carlos Monzon, and the right high on the head. It's very interesting that the powerful hitter, Carlos Monzon, should fight at such a respectful distance to Brisco. Very interesting, too, that Brisco is known as a puncher with both hands. Should be able to do so well defensively against Monzon. Both in studied particulars of boxing skill. 1 minute left in round 13. The only man he ever won a 10-round decision against, Mr. Brisco, was Jose Gonzalez. That was a 10. He has the killer instinct, even more so than Carlos Monzon. And it'll be an everlasting puzzle to me why he didn't go after Monzon when he had him staggered and shaken in his own corner a few rounds back with a sneaky right hand. Now the crowd rising. They think that Monzon is opening that cut along the right eye, and I think he has, and badly. Brisco may have a little bit of trouble seeing that left hand coming at him. Brisco is giving ground. 30 seconds, or rather about 18 seconds left in round 13. And I think Brisco is moving backward and sideways to avoid being hit on the cut eye anymore. He has slipped again. 5 seconds remaining in round 13, and Brisco appears to be battered in this round. There is the bell ending round 13. And they're going to work at that eye, no doubt about it. This is Guy LeBeau at Mike's side in New York City. This battle being satellited from Argentina and being sent in black and white throughout the United States. And we hope that you're enjoying this middleweight championship fight between Carlos Monzon and Bennie Brisco. Some will say that Brisco should have waited a little while longer after that attack of hepatitis about a year ago. Brisco will tell you that he had waited so long for a shot at the crown that this was the time for him to go after it. A nice guy. You might think he's very rough. You might think he's unapproachable because of the ominous look, the omnipresence of the bald head and the narrowed eyes and the squared shoulders and the rippling muscles. But at the same time, he is a very warm, a very nice human being who does a great deal in community work and hopes to open up a camp for youngsters, underprivileged youngsters, when his career is tucked away. This is round 14. Monzon far ahead on points. Brisco only had one good round, no great rounds. Monzon only had one great round. And now he starts again to take command here in round 14. The left jab working for Monzon. That is the hand that he unleashed as a surprising instrument in this fight that no one had expected he would. Good combination landed by Monzon. But Brisco takes it flat-footed. Lots of reserve of Bennie Brisco. And his punching is landing and hard against Monzon's chin. Monzon getting a little careless again. Brisco hooked him that time simultaneously with left hands to the chin. You don't do that too often to a champion. Monzon getting cocky too, and that was a similar right hand to the one that nailed him before. This time it was short. Monzon may have tried to sucker him in a little bit to unleash a right. And Brisco was moving away as he threw the right hand. Brisco having trouble with that cut eye, I think, again. He appears to be blinking heavily and may have trouble seeing from the streaming blood. A minute and a half still to go in round 14. Brisco will have to be a bull coming out in round 15 with the hope of knocking out Carlos Monzon, who looks the stronger as we head toward the 15th and final round, who is way ahead in points, no doubt about that. Brisco will be given no advantage whatsoever. It'll have to be a clean knockout, and it better come early. 1 minute left in the 14th round. Monzon changed his style tremendously, a come-forward fighter. He was counterpunching throughout this fight, nearly. It is one of the few times in my career that I have seen a fighter change styles so abjectly. I don't care whether he was forced to do it or not forced to do it. Most fighters will tell you even when forced they can't change. A good right hand by Brisco. Now it's Monzon giving ground. Has Brisco got enough time? He has 8 seconds left in round 14. And again, Mystique and Mystiques. It's the right hand of Brisco which has done the damage. And rarely has done it before. There's the bell ending round 14. This is Guy LeBeau, Mike's side in New York City. We want to thank Hank Schwartz, producer director, for video technique, and the U Sports Network and their fine staff of technicians for helping us in this sometime complicated report to you vocally of the fight that we are seeing on a huge screen at the U's TV network offices in New York City and annotating from that to you. We want to thank also our Spanish linguist, Pablo Nunez, for the fine help that he has accorded us, and also our colleagues Nat Lube of Ring Magazine and Erwin Rosie, a boxing expert of long standing. As we go into the 15th round, everyone knows that Brisco has to pull it out with a knockout. It was said before by many experts, it's the only way he could come out of Argentina with a victory anyway. But few thought that he would go into the 15th round trailing as badly as he does, and I think, Matt, it's safe to say that at this point, it's about 12 rounds Monzon and 2 for Brisco. A one-sided fight, as Lube says. Very exciting in spots, but raising several questions. One, the interference of the referee in the first 3 rounds with Brisco's style, Brisco having to depart from that style, and one of the other mysteries why Brisco had nothing left to go after Monzon when he obviously had him close to being able to be put away. A minute gone by in this, the 15th round. Carlos Monzon is successfully defending the middleweight championship of the world. Some say that if he gets past Brisco, he can rest on his laurels. He'll easily get past Emil Griffith, Boudier, and everybody else, and will be the king of the class for the next 3 or 4 years to come. But Brisco has exposed certain things in Monzon, that's for sure. One of the things he has exposed is that, unlike many champions, he will adjust himself to the fight inside the ring, even if it means a departure from his known style, which has carried him to the championship. Some champions will say that's folly. Right here, it has worked for Monzon. The left jab, the moving backward, the moving to the left side, the tying up of Brisco. All of these have kept Brisco in throttle. About a minute and a half still to go in this, the 15th round. Monzon in command, the stronger of the two. He has cut Brisco along the right side of the eye. Brisco looks all right, but not throwing too much. Now he's guarding that right eye to a fairly well. Not letting go too much of the right hand. A minute still to go in the 15th and final round. And we'll have to have an interpreter who will give us the scoring as we hear it from Argentina. And so Pablo Nunez.
2 minutos y medio. Último round. Entró fuerte a la izquierda de Monzon sobre la cabeza de Brisco. Derecha de Brisco sobre la cabeza de Monzon. Está por finalizar la pelea. Está por finalizar el combate. Carlos Monzon, Bennie Brisco. La gente ya comienza a aplaudir.
Bennie Brisco, un gran profesional. Monzon, un gran campeón mundial.
Y aquí finaliza el combate. Carlos Monzon, campeón del mundo. Bennie Brisco.
Tarjeta Monzon. Tarjeta del señor Chaumont. Ganador Monzon. Tarjeta del señor Amadeo. Ganador Monzon. Ganador por tanto.